Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again it's time for the Texas Gun Vault Poll Question of the Week, a weekly vlog that I put out where I ask you, as my viewers and subscribers, about something that deals with guns, gun culture, politics, current events, the news, or something fun like EDC that I want to get your thoughts and opinions on. And this week's question deals with something I have wanted to talk about for a long time, and that is Wayne LaPierre, the Executive Vice President of the NRA, or the National Rifle Association, is finally leaving. He finally penned his resignation. So as of January the 31st, 2024, he will depart that organization, something that a lot of us have been wanting to see happen for a very long time. I remember when I first got into guns about 10 to 12 years ago that the National Rifle Association was the elephant in the room. They were the biggest organization when it came to gun owners, and especially for lobbying for pro-gun legislation. They were essentially unstoppable, and why they gained the reputation that they did in the anti-gun circles. We always hear them vilifying them in the news. Oh, the NRA this and the NRA that. And then after the 2016 election, well, the cracks in the foundation began to show. People that worked for the organization realized, hey, all this money that we're bringing in from donations and member dues, well, they're not actually going to what they're supposed to be doing. And then people started to analyze the actual history of the NRA and what they've done for gun rights in the past. And a lot of things began to come to light. It turns out the NRA was a bunch of smoke and mirrors. And at the head of this pyramid scheme was Wayne LaPierre, somebody that honestly I have looked online to actually find a picture of him holding a firearm or actually find evidence that he even owns a gun, and I can't find any of that evidence, is essentially to blame for wasting all of this money. It came to light that he was using the organization's funds to buy $30,000 suits to travel his family all over the world. It was just so wasteful. And essentially, what are they doing? Absolutely nothing. The other gun rights organizations were actually fighting for your rights. They're the ones that were filing the lawsuits. They were the ones that were winning. And then the NRA would come in and, of course, try to say, hey, give us some money so we can fight for your rights. They became like a big scare organization of, if you don't give us money, you're going to lose your gun rights. And it turned out that the people at the top were just profiting. People were sending them money in good faith saying, please fight for our rights. And they were doing absolutely nothing. They were squandering it. And then when all of this came out, people said, I'm not giving one more penny to the NRA. And then we had the decline of the NRA. They were gigantic in 2016, and now their membership has dropped by millions. The amount of money that they bring in has dropped by tens of millions. And you would think that if this was a publicly traded company or corporation, the board of directors would look at the CEO and said, you've ruined this company. You've ruined this organization. Everybody wants you out, from insiders in the group to the people that give us money. You need to go. But did he? No, because over the years, it turns out he was able to build a support network. The people on the board were just his fans and his sycophants. It was all corrupt. The entire organization was corrupt. And what's sad about this is, yes, they were a huge organization in the past. We all rallied for them. I remember the biggest gun tubers out there were doing membership drives for them, asking you to join the fight. And it was all for naught. It was for nothing. It was a big scam. And a lot of people felt burnt by it, including myself. And it's sad that we as gun owners have to turn on each other. But this time, it's for real. We have to clean house. Do I want the NRA to fail? In theory, I don't. I want them to be restructured, reorganized, and all the people that are guilty of all this waste, fraud, and abuse to be sent to jail, to pay for their crimes for wasting people's money, for defrauding the people that donated to the NRA, and then rebuild the NRA from the ground up with people that actually care about our gun rights and are actually going to fight for our gun rights. So that's what this poll question is about. I wanted to ask you, Is this a good thing? Because I still know there's people that are members of the NRA that follow it blindly. Wayne LaPierre is amazing. He's fighting for our rights. I personally know people that don't see any of the waste, fraud, and abuse, and they think this is just a big thing coming down from the state of New York trying to go after Wayne LaPierre and take your guns. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Do you know anything about what he's doing? So I want to ask you, is this a good thing or a bad thing, and why? So with all that said, let's dive right into this week's poll question. This past week, we heard the news that Wayne LaPierre has finally penned his resignation as the Executive Vice President of the National Rifle Association. For many people in the gun community, this is being celebrated and heralded as a new beginning for the organization. But for many in the anti-gun community, they also celebrate it as they believe they have taken down a powerful Second Amendment ally. He is loathed by many pro and anti-gunners and mired in legal lawsuits surrounding alleged corruption. Do you think his resignation is good or bad for the future of the NRA? And as I mentioned in the poll question, that is one thing that is really weird about this, that both pro and anti-gunners hate the man. They're going after them for different reasons. The pro-gunners want him gone because it's obvious he wasted money, he was corrupt, and he's done nothing for gun rights. But the anti-gunners go after him because they think he's fighting for gun rights and that he's the reason that they can't pass any common sense gun control. So it's really weird. He's pissed off and ticked off both sides of this debate. So in some ways, people will say it's actually bad that he's getting kicked out and had to resign, because now the anti-gunners are going to rally behind this and say, see, we can take down these organizations. So let's actually find out what you guys have to say with this week's results. And with 181 votes this week, we have good. His corruption, waste, and fraud has hurt the NRA, 43%. And on a side note, yes, I know I misspelled waste in that answer. You can make fun of me. It happens from time to time, and I can laugh at that. Then we have good, but the NRA is corrupt and will put in someone similar, 52%. Bad, it gives the anti-gunners a victory and they will not stop, 2%. Bad, he was a true defender of the Second Amendment, 1%. And something else, explain in the comments, 3%. And I think this might be the most lopsided result of any Texas Gun Vault poll question of the week I have ever had. It looks like 95% of you all want him to be gone and are glad that he is gone, and I completely agree with you. But as I told you, there's still people out there that still think he was a true defender of the Second Amendment. I don't know how that's possible. He is a huckster. He is a fraud. He was at the top of a pyramid scheme. And this is something that maybe we can come together with anti-gunners on and say, well, you might hate guns, we might love guns, but there's something that we both despise, and that's people that run Ponzi schemes. That's people that are doing illegal things with funds that are given in good faith by members of nonprofit organizations. And I think that's really important, because even if they replace him with somebody that's probably just as corrupt, well, the eyes of all of us are now on the NRA. It's going to be so much harder for them to pull the same stuff that they have in the past. So, with all of that, let me give you guys my personal breakdown on each one of these answers. First, we have good. His corruption, waste, and fraud has hurt the NRA. And yes, once again, I know I completely misspelled waste. Go ahead and laugh at me. I fully admit it. I know. So, this is the one I actually would have voted for. And I am not somebody that is a vengeful person. I don't want to see people get hurt. People do make mistakes. There are times that companies will have a CEO that is not very effective, that actually hurts the mission of the company or the organization, or causes something called mission drift. It happens, but their heart is in the good place. But as it turns out, with all the evidence and all the people that know him and the board of directors, it looks like he knew what he was doing the entire time. And what's really sad is once all of this came out, He refused to resign. As the membership dwindled, as the donations dwindled, people on the phone saying not 1 cent until Wayne LaPierre is gone, he still refused to resign. Even the board would not fire him. They kept re-electing him almost unanimously. It was crazy. Why would you continue to put somebody in that position that is hurting your membership, that the members of the organization are saying, get rid of him? It just goes to show the stranglehold he had on that organization. And the thing that pisses me off the most is that we're supposed to be in this fight together. Sure, we all come from different walks of life and maybe we like guns in different ways. Some of you are hunters, some of you are target shooters, some of you like to collect like I do. But we all come together under the same banner. The Second Amendment is bigger than all of us. And that's what we hope the leaders of these gun rights organizations are supposed to be. When they realize I'm hurting the fight, I'm hurting the cause, it's time to get somebody new in there to take the mantle, to take the baton and keep fighting. I've done all I can do. Maybe I made some mistakes. But he couldn't have the humility to do that. He stayed in there as long as he could, and only when people that are part of the organization in the past have turned state's witness does he change his tune. It just goes to show the type of man that he is. And he all owes us a huge apology. Not just an apology, but he should have to pay restitution to the National Rifle Association and its members for what he did. It is shameful, and it makes us all look bad and hurts our fight for generations to come, because as I said, the Second Amendment is bigger than all of us. Then we have good, but the NRA is corrupt and will put in someone similar. And I agree to a small extent. But now the eyes of gun owners and anti-gunners are all on the NRA. There's no way that anybody can ever run that organization the same way. We're all going to be looking at their books. There's going to be people in the government that are auditing their books. And most likely, I'm hoping the board of directors is finally going to start running things differently, because the person that has had a stranglehold over them is no longer there. But of course, there always is the chance, due to nepotism and all of the corruption and the roots of all that has happened running so deep, that they're going to put in somebody that is just going to do the same thing. But this is a chance for the NRA to become relevant again, to grow. Put in somebody that actually cares and knows how to run that organization. Will they? Well, only time will tell. Then we have bad. It gives the anti-gunners a victory, and they will not stop. And I totally understand why some people would vote for this, but let's just be honest. Whether or not he resigned, it doesn't matter. They're never going to stop, because they never sleep. But honestly, I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. Then we have bad. He was a true defender of the Second Amendment. 1%. Somebody actually voted for that. But that's what I'm telling you. I personally know people that are just getting into guns now. And they're like, guess what I did? Well, what'd you do? I joined the NRA, and they slapped that NRA sticker on the back of their pickup truck, and they're so happy. I'm fighting for our rights. And I'm like, do you have any idea what that organization has done and how they've sold you out and what you just did? You just gave them money to pay for Wayne LaPierre's legal fees and to buy him a $30,000 suit. It's a shame. But some people are always going to be uneducated and ignorant of the facts, and that's our job to educate them and show them the true way. But there are people out there that will always be Wayne LaPierre supporters, and I personally don't get it. And then finally, we have something else explained in the comments, and that got 3%. So as I said, it is lopsided. You guys are as happy as I am that he is gone. So that's what I think about all these results. So now let's see what you guys had to say with the top-rated comments of the week. And the top-rated comment of the week comes from Ted Baxter, 5234, who said, he could not have done what he did for the length of time he did it without a lot of assistance from the board. Bless Oliver North for the change he promoted. Yes, him and Pete Brownell did great work as presidents of the NRA, which was more of a ceremonial position, but they had access to the organization and they saw the cultural rot that was in it, and they brought some of it to light. So yes, I'm glad some people on the inside were able to get all of this information out. And it is a lot of the board's responsibility as well. And I hope the board comes down just like Wayne LaPierre does. I hope we see tons of resignations. Then we have I'm a Beast 191 who said, I didn't even know NRA was still a thing. Yeah, because after they started spending all of their money on legal fees having to defend Wayne LaPierre, who refused to resign, they stopped all of their efforts of promotion. They stopped trying to get money, stopped going to gun shows, trying to get people to sign up because they were now irrelevant. They were mired in lawsuits and they wouldn't cut the head off of the beast and say, Wayne, you have to go. So now there is a lot of people that didn't even know there's still a thing. Then we have Disastrous Effect 163 who said, I think it's a case of too little, too late. And you know, as the adage says, it takes a lifetime to build a good reputation and seconds to destroy it. And that's what the NRA did. They had years and decades to build this reputation and now it's destroyed. And even if they replace Wayne LaPierre with someone like Coleon DeWar, we're still going to be very skeptical of that organization because now their reputation is ruined. What do they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Then we have Wiley Thompson 639 who said, the rest of the NRA swamp needs to be drained. Yes, all of the board needs to be drained. We need to start from scratch. And I honestly think the bylaws need to be rewritten completely. I've heard a lot of people talk about making the board of directors a lot smaller and much more accountable and changing the rules on how people are elected to the board. Because right now, in order to be elected to the board, you have to be approved by the board. Yeah, lots of nepotism there. And then finally, we have Parabel 9mm who said, it's a good thing, but I don't know what his pant size has to do with it. And yes, I included that one because I misspelled waist in the possible answer. Ha 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 ha. But I could definitely joke at myself and that's okay. So we had a little bit of fun with that. So that's what you guys think and that's what I think, and hopefully the future of the NRA is going to be bright. And if you guys are members of the NRA, tell the board it's time to rebuild, it's time to restructure, and let's make the NRA great again because the anti-gunners still fear them and still think they are the elephant in the room. So that is the Texas Gun Vault poll question of the week. And if you guys would like to participate in next week's poll, please go to the community tab of my YouTube channel. Go over there, see what the poll is about. Make sure you vote, comment, and like other people's comments so we can get the top rated comments of the week. And I am so glad to hear that we are almost all on the same page and Wayne LaPierre is gone. And as the end of this month, he will no longer be draining that organization's funds. It's a great day for gun owners. So, as always, thanks for watching.